as you well know, there are many laws on the books now that deal with the bodies being responsible for passing budgets, for the White House and the president submitting budgets on certain timelines. And for years, it has not been adhered to. So the law has been violated many, many times. Nobody goes to jail. Really, the penalty they face is getting voted out at home. Do you think some of this is too far in the weeds for average Americans to understand cloture and the procedure and locking up the amendments process so that they can, if they choose to, hold their representatives responsible the next time they have to go for re-election?
Yeah, I mean, it's too complicated for most members of Congress and senators as well. But here's the bottom line. Congress is not doing its work. People would be shocked to hear that the Senate has only passed a budget once in 4 years. They'd be shocked to hear that out of the 48 appropriations bills the Senate was supposed to pass over the last several years, they've only passed one on time. Only one. It was the military construction bill, which is pretty easy to pass normally. In other words, Congress is not doing its work. Congress is not going through the normal process to actually do the oversight on the federal agencies and departments and then pass an appropriations bill, as you say, within the time frame. If that were to happen, there wouldn't be any continuing resolutions. There wouldn't be these last-minute budget crunches. And that's the ultimate solution here. The House, to their credit, has been passing budgets. The House, to their credit, under John Boehner, has been passing some appropriations bills. Not all of them, but some. And I know it's tough to do. But in the Senate, we've pretty much given up on it and just relied on these continuing resolutions, which is not the way to manage a government. You don't prioritize spending. You need to get rid of some programs altogether. And others that are working well, you might want to improve and provide some more support for. We're not doing that. So that's the bigger issue, I think, that my constituents do understand, I hope, and do get. And, for those of us who are here in Washington trying to figure out how to make this place work better, if we don't get back to the legislating that we're supposed to do, that we're hired to do, we're going to keep running against these budget deadlines. And by the way, it's not only about all the uncertainty it creates for the economy and for the government and so on, it also ends up with a bad result usually, because there tends to be a lot of horse trading when you do these last-minute deals. This is why I like the amendment that I told you about that I offered today, which says you keep the government spending from the previous year, then you start to reduce it to give the appropriators the incentive to actually do their job and to actually do the oversight and do the legislating on individual budget bills.
Well, you talked about the fact that Congress has work to do. The American people do as well. Many of them are, but many others don't stay informed and vote accordingly. So, Senator Portman, we thank you for explaining a little bit more, and we hope folks will pay attention and do their civic duty as well. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Shannon. Take care.